Let's go to second question, which is from Mike in Castleford. So Mike in Castleford said, I voted leave. I have started to question my decision. I feel that one of the biggest dangers of Brexit, which like so many was not approached in either referendum campaign, was our vulnerability to outside forces. Will we truly be at the mercy of America? Is our NHS safe?
I mean, it's a really good question. And, you know, as with many things in Brexit, we don't know for sure what the future is going to look like. But we can talk about, you know, why this might be a valid concern and something you want to worry about. So I think what this question kind of gets at is, you know, one argument that a lot of kind of Brexiteers have put forward is that one of the benefits of leaving the EU would be that we could now strike a big new free trade deal with the United States, right? And this would potentially be, you know, beneficial because after Europe, America is our second biggest trade partner, and the EU doesn't currently have a free trade agreement with the US. So the idea is by striking a free trade deal with the US, we can make it easier for British firms to trade with America, hopefully kind of stimulating extra trade, which could, you know, create new jobs, create new opportunity for the British economy. The concern, though, is usually when you do a free trade agreement with a country, it's not just about things like tariffs and do you check goods at the border. It's also about, do we align our regulations and do we allow firms, in this case from America, to come in and buy up British companies or to come in and provide services to the NHS. And, you know, if we were to do a deal with America, it's likely those things would be part of the deal. Now, why might that be a little bit problematic? Well, in most areas, the EU has much kind of stricter health and safety regulations than America. So, you know, one example that came up a lot when we talked about potentially about an EU-US free trade agreement is chlorine chicken. You know, what can you wash your chicken in before you sell it to consumers? In America, you can wash it in chlorine and then sell it to consumers. In Europe, you can't, right? America wants to be able to sell its chlorinated chicken and its growth hormone fed cows and chickens into the European market. So if we did a free trade agreement with America, they'd push us to accept that kind of trade. Now, we wouldn't have to, but typically when you do a trade deal, you have to give up something in order to get access to the American market. And the question would be, you know, would the government give way on that issue?
Yeah, I think that's a question on a lot of people's lips is what would that negotiation look like and what would we have to give up? Yeah,
I mean, it's also kind of worth bearing in mind on that one that it's kind of a truism of trade negotiations that bigger countries, and by that, you know, I mean countries that have bigger economies, bigger markets, they have more power in the negotiations because they're kind of offering access to a bigger market. Unfortunately for the UK, the US is a much bigger market than the UK. So we wouldn't go into that negotiation as an equal partner. And, you know, I think that's another cause for concern in terms of what we would have to give up to get a deal.
Okay.